Hey guys, King of Charmanders here. Today I bring to you a video on the best Dragon Elemental meta builds for dancing in the Tempest. This video explores all best Dragon Elemental builds in the game. We will explore all weapon types, so that includes melee and ranged as well, and some weapon types will have more than one build or be flexible in your build options. Alright, first we're going to start off with the Dragon Elemental monster type comparison. This comparison only applies to the bow, because the pink Rathian bow is the only other dragon weapon right now as far as elemental goes for the current meta. The rest of the weapon types only have Deviljho weapons right now for the dragon element. So other than the bow, that's why you see it right here. You see the sword and shield on top, and then you see the bow and then the pink Rathian bow right next to each other, just to put that comparison side by side. As you see here, at grade 10.5, the Deviljho weapons are still stronger despite their negative affinity. Just because we have to do so much damage, that doesn't necessarily mean that the negative affinity is going to affect it a lot. However, the pink Rathian bow isn't too far behind though, so it still works if you built it. I've built it, I put it a 7.5 out of 5, and some of you really like its shot type. So, nothing wrong with the pink Rathian bow. If you want to use that instead of the Deviljho bow, totally for it, and it can work as well. Moving on, we have even more data. This is for melee, and this is the Dragon melee builds damage comparison. So there's two general builds when it comes to the Dragon attack level 5 builds. There are two of them. The first melee build has peak performance level 2 and weakness exploit level 2, while the second melee build has burst level 2. As you see per the data, the practical theoretical damage assessments with peak performance active and without aren't too far apart. Peak performance can only be activated when you have a full HP gauge. Now, unless you're an absolute god at dodging or you have potions like no tomorrow, it's very unlikely your HP is going to be full all the time. However, despite that, if you look at the values on the chart, there really isn't much of a big difference. Like, you might notice this if you have an eye for it, but it's not super noticeable. Outside, I would say, of the Deviljho bow at the very top, the rest are really, really close. And you're not, like I mentioned, you're not going to notice them too much when you don't have peak performance versus when you do. So don't worry about it too much, but here are the numbers just in case you're interested. Alright, first we're going to start off with the melee builds. This is the Dragon Attack Level 5 melee build number 1, Peak Performance. This build can be used by Sword and Shield, Greatsword, Longsword, Hammer, Dual Blades, Lance, Charge Blade, and Gunlance. This build provides Dragon Attack Level 5, so it maxes it out, and lock-on is provided by the Coral Puke Helm. The build also has Special Boost Level 2 for extra damage, while Focus Level 1 will benefit Greatsword, Longsword, Hammer, Charge Blade, and Gunlance users. This build still does more damage than build number 2 even with peak performance not active, so this is the number 1 build. However, if you want more flexibility with the second one, you can use the second one. To use this build, you need the Coral Puke Helmet at grade 8, the Pink Rathian Mail at grade 6, the Deviljho Vambraces at grade 6, Deviljho Coil at grade 6, and the Pink Rathian Greaves at grade 6. As for the next melee build, we have the Dragon Attack Level 5 melee build number 2, which is Burst and Slugger. This build can be used by Sword and Shield, Greatsword, Longsword, Hammer, Dual Blades, Lance, Charge Blade, and Gunlance. This build provides Dragon Attack Level 5. Lock-on is provided by the Rathian Vambraces, and the build also has Burst and Special Boost Level 2 for extra damage. Focus Level 1 will benefit Greatsword, Longsword, Hammer, Charge Blade, and Gunlance users. And this build will benefit weapon types that can stun and make use of Slugger Level 2. So if it can stun, Slugger Level 2 is the meta level for stunning. So again, if you can stun, Slugger Level 2 is amazing. And Hammer main should use this build for Slugger, as you pound away, go to Pound Town, boink away with the hammer, and stun the crud out of the poor little large monster you are facing. To use this build, you need the Deviljho Helmet at grade 6, the Pink Rathian Mail at grade 6, Rathian Vambraces at grade 6, Deviljho Coil at grade 6, and the Pink Rathian Greaves at grade 6. Moving on, we have more data for melee builds, and now we're going to look at Offensive Guard. Here's the Offensive Guard damage comparisons. Offensive Guard is the most powerful melee build for the weapon types that can use it. Here's the comparisons you see right here. Offensive Guard is incredibly powerful even when you don't have all the extra stuff active. So even if you don't have Heroics active, if you don't have Latent Power active, it still does really dang well. However, it does require a great amount of skill in performing perfect guards. The thing about it is, the Dragon Attack level 5 builds are more consistent. So if you don't feel or have any or a lot of experience with perfect guarding, those builds work perfectly fine. So the two melee builds you saw at the first for Dragon Attack level 5, those are perfectly fine to use. This is if you're trying to be really fancy, alright? So again, first two perfectly fine, this one super fancy, and again, those Dragon Attack level 5 builds are actually more consistent because you don't have to force the monster to attack you so that you can activate Offensive Guard and get that damage bonus. Alright, now that we went over the damage, here are the builds. First, we're going to start off with a Charge Blade. This is the Offensive Guard level 5 Charge Blade build. This build provides Offensive Guard level 5. Lock-on is provided by the Puke Helm, and this build has Weakness Exploit level 2 and Critical Eye level 2. Which provides a 10% affinity boost. This is because this factors in the 40% total with the negative 30% affinity from Deviljho weapons, because Deviljho weapons have negative 30% affinity, unfortunately. Speaking of unfortunately, you must attack weak spots to provide the positive affinity. So in order to get that plus 10% affinity and cancel out the Deviljho weapons one, you must attack weak spots. Latent Power and Heroics are good additional conditional skills for extra damage. Like we saw in the damage comparisons, even when they're not active, you still do a good amount of damage. However, if you don't want to use this build and you just want something consistent, again, the Dragon Attack level 5 build works fine if you don't want to use this build. To use this build, you need the Deviljho Charge Blade at grade 8, well grade 10 or as high as you can. Puke Helmet at grade 8, the Beerith Mail at grade 6, Bambaro Van Braces at grade 6, Pink Rathian Coil at grade 6, and the Black Diablo Greaves at grade 6. Next up, we have the second build for Offensive Guard, which is the Offensive Guard level 5 Lance build. This build provides Offensive Guard level 5, and lock-on is provided by the Puke Helm. This build has Weakness Exploit level 5, providing 20% affinity, so this factors in the 50% total with the negative 30% affinity from Deviljho weapons. You must attack weak spots to provide the positive affinity, which is the unfortunate thing. Heroics is a good conditional skill that provides extra damage. However, the hardest requirement of this build is that it requires a grade 8 Kushala Daora armor piece. So if you're going to use this, you need a really expensive piece of armor. But if you don't want to use it, you have the Dragon Attack level 5 build, which works fine if you don't want to use this build. For this build, you need the Deviljho Lance at grade 8 or a grade 10 or as high as you can get it, the Puke Helmet at grade 8, Rathian Mail at grade 6, Bambaro Van Braces at grade 6, Kushala Daora Coil at grade 8, and the Black Diablo Greaves at grade 6. Moving on, we have the last melee build, which is for the Gunlance. This is the best Deviljho Gunlance build, which is Artillery level 4 and Burst level 4. Now here's the thing, the Deviljho Gunlance is the best Gunlance because it provides Artillery level 1 at grade 8. As of right now, you can only get Artillery level 3, and the Deviljho Gunlance will give you that one level of Artillery you need. This allows you to get Artillery level 4, which gives 1 extra ammo and a 30% damage increase to Gunlance ammo and Wormfire attacks. In addition, Burst level 4 provides extra damage and is easy to activate and keep active with a single Wormstake shot. It's important to note, this build is most effective when using everything the Gunlance has to offer, which is its maximum potential using the Wormstake shot and the Charge shot. So using both of those in combination will allow you to pump out a ton of damage with this Deviljho Gunlance build. To use this build, you must have the Deviljho Gunlance at grade 8 for that one level of Artillery, or higher, however high you can get it. The Zinogre Helmet at grade 6, the Basarios Mail at grade 6, Rathian Van Braces at grade 6, Rathian Coil at grade 6, and the Basarios Greaves at grade 4. Alrighty, we finished with the melee weapons, now we're going on to the ranged weapons. Here we have the top 5 Dragon Elemental Light Bowgun builds, and we're doing a Dragon Light Bowgun build's damage comparison. The Light Bowgun is the only current weapon in the game that doesn't require high levels of dragon attack to be powerful. That's because you need 2 other skills to be maxed out. In fact, the damage difference is very close if we look at the damage comparison for the top 5 builds. So you see there's a bunch of different variations, depending on which one you want to use, etc. it's going to be relatively close. Sadly, this is just the nature of the light bowgun builds, as recoil down level 3 and reload speed level 3 take priority to maximize damage per second, or DPS. Those two are the most important skills. You want to go bang bang boom boom with the light bowgun, and you want to annihilate everything in your pack and shoot everything like a boss. Well, unfortunately, you need recoil down level 3 and reload speed level 3 maxed out. Alright, now to execute that boom like you saw in that scene right there, you need the Deviljho recoil down level 3 and reload speed level 3 light bowgun build. This build is used with the Deviljho light bowgun. Well, that's the only dragon bowgun in the game right now, and this build maxes out recoil down level 3 and reload speed level 3. Rising Tide and Peak Performance are nice damage bonuses, and the build has weakness exploit level 2 to lower the negative affinity of the Deviljho weapons to -5% when attacking weak spots. So it doesn't outright cancel it out, but when you lower the affinity, as someone with a full Drift Smelt build with the Black Diablos bow, I can tell you that when you do lower the affinity, it matters a lot more, or you'll notice a difference a lot more than you think. It also has Dragon Attack level 1 for a little bit of additional extra elemental damage. If you want Slugger level 2 for extra stun power at the cost of weakness exploit level 2, you can use the Deviljho helmet instead. That's because the Deviljho light bowgun has sticky dragon ammo. Sticky, if you hit the head, it causes stun. So if you build up that stun enough, bam, Slugger level 2 will be perfect, and again, you have to put the Deviljho helmet if you want to use that with this build instead of the Koro Puke Puke helmet. To use this build, you need the Deviljho light bowgun at grade 8 or at grade 10 or as high as you can get it. The Koro Puke Puke helmet at grade 8. Again, if you want Slugger level 2 for the extra stun power, for the sticky dragon ammo, replace this with the Deviljho helmet. You'll also need the Paolumu mail at grade 6, Deviljho Van Braces at grade 6, Koro Puke Puke coil at grade 6, and the Azarathlos Greaves at grade 6. Moving on to the second ranged weapon, we have the Dragon Elemental Bows. And we have two instances here. You have with peak performance and you have without peak performance active. Here we compare the best Dragon Elemental Bow damage with the Deviljho and Pink Rathian bows. I also added the data without peak performance active because you need to have full HP for peak performance to proc. So you need full HP, that's the only thing about peak performance, and as you see there is a little drop off in damage even if peak performance isn't active. It's not super high, so it's not something you have to really stress about. The damage difference isn't too much between the Deviljho and Pink Rathian bows either. So it's really up to you which bow you want to invest in. If you already have a 10-5 Pink Rathian bow because you like it so much, it'll do well for you regardless, as you see for the damage comparisons over here. Alrighty, this moves us to our first of two Dragon Elemental Bow builds. First off, we have the best Deviljho Dragon Elemental build. This is the Deviljho best bow build with Focus level 5 and Dragon Attack level 4. Focus level 5 allows you to spam Spread level 3 at Charge level 2, which is 1 blink. However, you gotta be up close and personal, so if you're uncomfortable with it, this is why some people want to use the Pink Rathian bow instead. This build gives a high level of Dragon Elemental damage at level 4. Peak Performance level 4 also gives 200 extra raw damage when your health is full. And the only con about this build is you need full HP to take advantage of the high level of Peak Performance. Peak Performance doesn't activate unless you have full HP. Therefore, if it's not active, you don't benefit from it, which is the only con about this build. To use this build, you need the Deviljho bow at grade 8 or at grade 10 or as high as you can get it, the Azarathlos helmet at grade 6, Pink Rathian mail at grade 6, Deviljho Van Braces at grade 6, Deviljho coil at grade 6, and Gyratotus Greaves at grade 6. For the final build of this video, we have the best Pink Rathian Dragon Elemental Bow build. This is Pink Rathian Bow build with Focus level 5 and Dragon Attack level 4. Focus level 5 allows you to spam Pierce level 3 at Charge level 2, which is 1 blink. It's because of the difference between Pierce and Spread, which is why you might like this one instead of the Deviljho bow. This build gives a high level of Dragon Elemental damage at level 4, and Peak Performance level 2 gives 100% extra raw damage when your HP is full. In addition, what kind of makes this a little more preferred over the Deviljho one is this build has more mobility than the Deviljho build because of Evade Extender level 1. Evade Extender level 1 is actually really good. So if you use the, for example, like the Zinogre Light Bowgun, that has Evade Extender level 1 in that build. and it does a lot. It's really great. Allows you to reposition and allows you to keep in pierce range really fast. It's really great. To use this build, you need the pink Rathian bow at grade 8, the Azarathlos helmet at grade 6, pink Rathian mail at grade 6, Deviljho van braces at grade 6, Deviljho coil at grade 6, and the Gyratotus greaves at grade 6. In closing, hopefully this video helps you with your dragon elemental builds. Remember, pink Rathian is a variant and Deviljho can only be found in Hunt-a-thons and invasions, so it will still take a lot of work if you're looking to make one of these builds. I have a Zinogre bow, a Zinogre weapon at 10.5, I have a Black Diablo's bow at 10.5, and a Kushala bow almost at 10.5. With all that in consideration, I know from experience just how hard it can be, unlike some people that pretend they know what it's like. But anyways, yeah, it's really hard. So make sure you are aware that it's going to take a whole lot of effort and work if you want to get these maxed out and to make these builds. Please do me a huge favor, like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. Good luck on all your drops. Hopefully you're enjoying the Poison/Dragon Elemental event right now and those double drops. And I hope you are getting the best drops in the world. And I will see y'all on the next video.